Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
It's the Potsy and Tino show. Talk the facts and let opinions flow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with a mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you its tag team champions of the we are the world champions, the Road Dog, Big Daddy Jones, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak,
Big Daddy Jones.
Big Daddy Jones. Our theme song is what you just heard right there. Thank you to Teddy Long for the intro. And, of course, thank you to Adam's House Cat, who provided our theme song for like 400 episodes. This is episode 439 of the Potsy and Tino show. Damn. And, Tino, before we get started with our regular What's Up With You segment, I didn't ask you if you had anything that you wanted to say here, but today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so if there's anything that you'd like to say, I know that WWE likes to sit there and run a little thing about it. Busted Open talked about it at length this morning. But do you have anything specific you'd like to say, considering you and I pretty much try to talk equality and everything else as often as possible? So
it's kind of hard today talking equality and talking about MLK Day without getting political, and I don't want to do that. I just want to say that what this day stands for, I firmly believe in, and I stand for it too, talking about equality and everybody, no matter you're white, green, purple, brown, tan, yellow, everybody's the same. So I think everybody needs to be treated as such. Like, you know, I know it's corny, but like if you cut me, we both going to bleed red, right? So I think we just need more love and understanding and peace in the world. That's what I'm going to say.
You know, and you said it's hard not to talk about this without getting political, and unfortunately with the climate the way that it is outside, and I'm not talking about this Durham weather where we actually got, you know, a quarter inch of snow last night, but I am talking about the climate outside where you're supposed to love your neighbor, and I see us going in the wrong direction a lot of times, and I don't really want to go into it either, but, you know, we specifically talk about, you know, loving everybody on the show. We, you know, even when Chris Barrett sits there and chimes in with some dumbass shit, we sit there and we tell him we love him at the end of the show, you know, and it's hard. but we do.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got a packed show tonight, and I know that you like to try to get out of here in an hour and a half. So we're gonna do our best, but we do have some pretty strong topics to talk about when we talk about things like when we talk about TNA and its first Thursday night live impact on AMC. You know, their first live episode in quite a while, it seems, and start of a new era, if you will. But, you know, before we get there and before we talk about contracts and everything else that are now up or being played around with, we always start our show off with a segment called What's Up With You? And while we're at it, what's up with you, Michael Turner?
Something in my eye. I don't know what the hell. But what is up with me, dude? Not a whole lot, dude. Like just chilling, working. A couple things going on at work. I'll probably talk to you about that one. I forgot to tell you when we got on. But you know, just working. Did a DJ at a party. So what my wife does, so apparently has gotten word around school that, you know, that I DJ and stuff. So whenever like parents or something, like, anybody know who DJs? So apparently one of the parents she was having her 40th birthday, and she kind of was asking around, and they're like, oh, Gray's husband DJs, right? So I get this text. It's like, can you DJ my party? How much you charging? And it's just a number. It's no my name is
no name, or I know your wife.
That's what it was. I'm like, Nicole, who'd you give my number to? She goes, oh yeah. I'm like, at least give me a heads up. So I'm like, who the fuck is texting me? Right. So it ended up being awesome. It was her 40th birthday. It was a silly birthday party. They did it was like wigs and stashes. Everybody came in wigs and stuff like that. Fake mustaches. I even had a wig. Um, I had a wig, and so, but it was fun, and there's a bunch of, like I said, not only it was a bunch of parents, but the parents that Nicole has taught. So every 5 minutes, oh, we love your wife, and she's such a good teacher, and where is she? And da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, dude, she's at home. And I'm the DJ. Me, what about me?
Yeah, I'm doing a good job.
me do good. So
me work hard.
But it was fun. It was funny because a lot of them, the party went from 7 to 10. So by 7:30, quarter to 8, they're already toasted. Can you play this song? I'm like, y'all need to calm down. Yeah, take a load of that.
Oh my Jesus. You gotta hold that up on the screen, man. You gotta hold that shit up on the screen. That reminds me of when I put the old Pearl Woman wig from 227 on my pug. Look at him.
So you see it?
Oh shit. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So just being I like especially if I know they have like a gimmick or something like that going on, you throw a wig on for fun too, and they're like, "Oh, you got one too!" Right? So
I remember one year we went to one of the Fayetteville Comic Cons, and Terrence gave me this blonde wig, so I was wearing the blonde wig the entire day. It's so itchy though, so itchy. Like I don't know how people do it, man. Like do they put like a fake scalp on first and then a wig?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Well, a fake it's like a hairnet, and that's if you have hair. I don't have hair, so I have to worry about it. But it was.
I would still want something else on my head so it didn't itch.
Yeah, that one actually surprisingly didn't itch. I was like pleasantly surprised. It was comfortable all night. A lot of times I forgot I had it on, and so having to walk by and see a reflection like, what the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that?
Who's that? Who is that sexy beast?
That's right. That's right. And so
it's Big Daddy Jones. That's who it was.
It was the perm. You saw it. It had the perm.
It was Big Daddy Jones 99.
Jones 99. So, but other than that, man, looking forward. Like you talking about, I was worried that they were going to cancel because it rained and then it turned to snow, and it was actually snowing here hard. But it was I knew it wasn't going to stick. It wasn't cold enough. B, it had already rained, so it wasn't going to stick. But this coming weekend, it's going to be cold as fuck. And it's supposed to snow Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday. And whatever doesn't melt is freezing. So we got to deal with that mess too.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that they were supposed to get even more of that wintry weather mix. And technically, even though we did get a little bit, I'm not even gonna call that the first snowing because you got to be able to actually pack a snowball for it to be snowing.
You can't make snow cream. It's not snow.
So I didn't get into too much either this week. I did my 3 trivia nights. But what's funny is like I seem to keep turning around and finding myself in a new comic book project. And
I saw your Facebook.
Yeah, where I got I'm just inundated with them now. So
you put it out on Facebook, dummy.
Well, I know, but I have so many of them. Like I just finished basically plotting out the 2-page Zor story for Free Comic Book Day. Now I got to do the 2-page story for Junior High Horrors for Free Comic Book Day. I've plotted out the first 5 pages or so of the new Junior High Horrors book. And today I wrote out like the first 11 pages of a new Zor book. So that's just 2 projects that I've got like 22 pages each for, right? Well, I also have a project with a gentleman by the name of Eric Marshall that's coming up. He's done a bunch of Keen Spot books in the past, but we've never worked together. And it's something I came up with probably a year and a half ago, because he was like, I'm a terrible writer, so just give me something good to draw, and I'll have a blast drawing it. And I'm like, that doesn't normally work for me, because I like asking, what do you want to draw, and then I write it, you know, like, because then everybody's excited, everybody keeps up. So what's that?
Michael Turner.
No, what do you say?
Cry, cry. I had to do comments and get paid. Cry, cry.
Well, hey, you know what's funny about that? I want to point out, and I don't know if I mentioned this over, near Christmas or not, but one of the things I pride myself on is the fact that, like, the projects I've worked on in comic books have all at least broken even or made money, right? Yeah. Like almost none of, like, I don't think any of them have actually been in the red, where it's like, hey, now granted, my publisher absorbs all that liability for if a book doesn't make money, but I've always been able to pay the people something, right? Like, there was a junior high horrors book where I split it 50-50 with Eric Kent, and we made $12. But we made $12, so it was in the black, right? Mm-hmm. What is going on, Johnny Storm and Mr. Helios? I see you in the audience as well. I think you're the same person. One on Facebook, one on YouTube. Keep sending the comments. But they've all made money. So over Christmas, the artist who died hard, I was like, hey, what's your PayPal? And I sent him. I just, and he goes, why? And I said, just, what's up, Southpaw? That's Rob Paw out in Fayetteville. So I'm like, well, I want to surprise you with something. And then I sent him over the money, and he's like, oh, wow. Actually, his exact quote was, oh, shit. Because again, I got to keep that reputation. It took, I guess, a year to pay him, but I got to keep that reputation that the book actually made money and now is paid out. So I was very pleased with that. So when Michael's sitting here saying, oh, cry, I get paid to do comics, the fact is I do get paid to make comics. I've been doing it for a while now. So, but I've got a story with him coming up. I've got another story with Eric Kent from Junior High Horrors. We've been working on Stonkered for quite a while now. He's in the middle of issue 2. I'm going to start coloring issue 2. So, I mean, there's that right there is just 4 books, right? And I know that I'm working on one with my buddy Daryl Murphy, so that's 5 books. I'm drawing Jugular, that's 6 books. So, I mean, I completed the script for, I think, a 6 or 8 page anthology story for a zombie book.
God damn.
So, I mean, like, yeah, like, when I say that I'm inundated with comic projects right now, it's not a joke. And then last night, I was having a conversation with Michael Adams from Zor, because, I was like, hey, are you interested in doing the Zor spooky special? And he was like, yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, okay. And then he heard something, and it made him go, man, I really wish one of these books that we did would make serious money. And I was like, well, what are you thinking? And he started talking to me about a project, and I was like, well, I'll write that. And he goes, seriously? You think you got the bandwidth for it? And I was like, oh, this seems like the kind of story I could write in my sleep. And he's like, oh, okay. Because if you remember, when I wrote Ex Liefelds, when I wrote Mandalorian, like, those stories just came to me, and it was like they were done in a day, And so this one, I'm like, oh yeah, I just a little bit of research, and I could have this one done in a day. So we've got another project lined up, if and when we actually get around to it. But I was so I mean, like, I literally am working on like 7 or 8 different comic projects right now.
Wow.
And that doesn't include any projects that I'm editing for anybody, or assisting with dialoguing or anything. Like, that's just projects that I am creatively on the project. So pretty wild to think about. So otherwise, I know the Royal Rumble is the 31st, so next week we have to do our Royal Rumble predictions.
Who the fuck's in it besides
Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes.
I will be a 3-time winner of the Royal Rumble. Everybody's talking
And
online
Saturday
about how he's sounding more and more heelish.
And Saturday night's main events this week, right?
This Saturday. So yeah, from Montreal. But I will be out of town for the Royal Rumble, so I'm probably gonna have to watch it Sunday.
Me too.
Yeah, and you said you're gonna. Well, you're always out of town during the WWE PLEs, which is
like
weird because you're normally like every 3 weeks, and you do every other week in Hickory. So I don't know how you miss
once a month. I do once a month, and somehow it always ends on.
It's always that weekend.
and it's funny, like I do it like in December, I say, okay, here are the weekends I'm going to do. Like, so he lets me book through the whole next year. So I don't even know what dates. That's what makes it even funnier. I don't even know what the dates that they fall on. I just happens to be when I'm gone.
And Tino, I know that you are a Crown Royal fan. You like the peach, you like the apple. And I mentioned this off air, so I'm going to go ahead and show everybody. They currently have a limited edition Crown Royal chocolate. And Mr. Helios got to try some of it this week. It tastes like Tootsie Rolls. It's super sweet, though. So we're trying to figure out a way to cut the sweetness on it while still allowing it to have some nice effect. But we did try mixing it with peanut butter whiskey to make a peanut butter cup. That was really good. We then took the peanut butter cup and we added espresso to it. So it was an espresso peanut butter cup. And that kept us awake until like 6 a.m.
When the fuck where were you? When?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. But yeah, so it's really good though. Like I kind of wish that they made like Crown Royal cherry, so you could just make a chocolate covered cherry. But
just get a cherry. What's that?
Well, I just think I'm gonna grab some of those like dark cherries and just drop them in a glass with it and just drink it like that. But anyways, so that's really what's going on with me right now. Not too much else. Update on my GLP-1. I did everything that the insurance company said to do. The doctor said, "Hey, we sent in your prior authorization for approval," and they denied it again. So I'm still not on GLP-1 medication. So I'm gonna stick with the metformin for now, and probably be on the phone with Medicaid tomorrow, and that's gonna be a fun time, I'm sure. Fun. Oh, and you know what comes? You know, we're getting ready to talk about weekly television watching. You know what comes out tomorrow, right? All 5 or 6 episodes of WWE Unreal Season 2.
Right.
So now talking about what's our weekly watching look like? What you've been watching?
Yeah, same thing as usual. It's been hard trying to watch. Not really watch. I'm still keeping up on my high potential. Still waiting on my CSI or NCISs and everything to come back. My mom was calling. Waiting on that stuff to come back. But I have picked and I've been catching up on Invincible because I know that's getting ready to come back out. But I have been binge watching.
Oh boy, here we go.
I got a new obsession now.
Can't wait to hear it.
2 Broke Girls.
I love me some Kat Dennings, but I don't know if I could watch that show.
It is hilarious. It is. It's funny. So I'm like, I started watching it. I'm like, dude, this shit's funny, dude. And then you get wrapped up watching the show, and the next thing you know, it's like 2 a.m. Like, what the fuck? I can watch one more episode, then I gotta go to bed. One more episode, then I gotta go to bed.
So on Apple TV, I've been watching The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and it's like hour-long episodes. And like every night recently, I find myself at 1:30 in the morning going, "Okay, I just gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed." And then it's like you get to a cliffhanger on the episode. It's like, yep, I gotta watch another one.
Yep. So see, Michael likes the show too.
So
like I said, it's
So
I'm waiting on like Watson and everything to come back, and I'm like,
so I found out that Tracker isn't coming back till March.
what the fudge?
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Brilliant Minds came back. The Hunting Party came back. The one where it's about the inmates that are like massive serious crime inmates that all broke out, and now they've got the FBI going after them. So that one came back. I watched the first episode of the season 2 of that. It was fine. Brilliant Minds is back. I watched the first episode of that. Keeping Up with Law and Orders. But Landman had its season finale Sunday, and that, I mean, like, that show. So you haven't watched it, have you?
Mm-mm.
All right. There's a segment in it where like Billy Bob Thornton is just like angry because he's like, what the fuck else can go wrong in my life right now, right? And it's because like his son is being held in a jail cell because they think he might have murdered somebody. He just got fired from the oil company he worked for, and he's like, damn it, God, can't you just give me like one little break? Like otherwise, just take me right now. And all of a sudden, this car accident just happens right in front of him. And I mean, it's like boom, 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 like all this. And then he just gets out of the car and he goes, that's really messed up. You know that?
So I've been actually not me. So Nicole, like back in the day, used to watch ER. So she's watching, the what about Disney, and she's been watching ER right from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't realize that thing went 15 seasons. She goes, yeah, I didn't watch it that long. So it stopped in 09. She goes, no, I didn't watch it that long. But it's just weird seeing how young they all were.
Dude,
Noah Wiley and Eric LaSalle and what's my man? Clooney. I'm like, oh my God, Julianne Margolis. I'm like, wow.
So here's what's really funny about that. Did you see that George that George Clooney just gave an AARP award to Noah Wiley?
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Like all this talk with his new show, The Pit. Like all of a sudden, they're talking to him about it, and he's like, and you see him just accepting the award for, and it's like, if you could go back in time and just talk to your younger self, you just got to go, hey, whatever you do, make sure you make that audition for ER.
It's funny. So, and you were talking about Billy.
Wasn't George Clooney on like Facts of Life before that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Billy Bob Thornton had the car crash in front of him. So they had this episode, and it's not fun about like, can they fire a doctor? So it's Noah Wiley, right? So he's like supposed to be an intern, and Eric LaSalle is his mentor or whatever. So this kid gets hit by a car, right? He dies, but they don't have any way to identify him. So they call this school, and he gets his yearbook, and so he figures out who the kid is, and he goes, all right, you got to call the parents. So they call the parents, and they're like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you that your son died. And they're like, well, can we see him? I'm like, I knew it was about to happen. They're like, yeah. They pulled that sheet back. They're like, oh my goodness, that's not our son. I was like, oh, fuck. Eric looks at Noah Wiley. I'm like, dude, that dude's fired. I knew what was about to happen. Like, he picked out the wrong student. So it's one of those moments like, really? And so this whole episode, he's like, he messed that up. And he's like, I don't know why I want to be a doctor anymore. I just keep getting, everything he was doing was he was messing up. And he's like, why am I doing this? And then all of a sudden he's sitting outside, and this fucking station wagon comes hauling ass and like does a Dukes of Hazzard skid, right? And they're like, well, why is having a baby? So he delivers the baby in the back of the station wagon in the parking lot. Now, the weird part about this scene is the lady's laid out in the back seat, right, of the station wagon. And Nicole and I saw this. We're like, what the fuck? So he's like, we got to deliver this right here. So he's like, all right, get ready to deliver the baby. This lady picks her feet up, puts her feet on his shoulders, and grabs his hair and starts pulling him forward. I'm like, what kind of party is this? What are we doing? And he delivers the baby. I'm like, why does she have
that wasn't the mom's hand. That was the baby's hand grabbing his head.
Why does she have to put her feet on his shoulders like that? Just like no. No.
She's trying to get power bombed.
I grabbed his hair. Me and Nicole looked at each other like, what the hell are we watching?
So medical shit. Did I send you any of those weird Paul Rudd videos from this week?
No.
All right. So he apparently was on a podcast this week called like Take Your Shoes Off Pod or something.
Take your
And
shoes off.
and the guy who is running the podcast is sitting there talking to him about all this random stuff and how like he didn't know that he was up for 2 Emmys. He was up for Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, and he was also up because he narrated like a documentary. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that." And it's like, yeah, leave it to Paul Rudd to forget he was Emmy nominated for something, right? And Paul's just like, well, that's not cool, man. And so the guy grabs an Emmy and goes, "Think fast," and he throws it at Paul Rudd's head. And I don't know how fake this was, but he has this busted nose, and he's just like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, so they give him like Percocets and whatever, and all of a sudden Paul Rudd is like hammered.
That's fucked up.
Well, it gets so bad. Okay, and again, I don't know how real it was. Like, I want to watch the whole thing, but I've only watched snippets. But at one point, he goes, "Something smells bad," is what Paul Rudd says, and the guy goes, "Oh God, no, Paul, did you shit yourself?" And he's like, "Maybe."
No.
So there's this part of the video where he's taking his pants off,
No.
and then suddenly there's like the squiggly line.
No.
But then he's talking to Paul Rudd about it after the fact, the whole thing, right? Paul Rudd's got a bloody nose. The guy throws him in the back of a car to take him to the hospital. All this weird shit. And then afterwards, he's like talking to Paul Rudd about it later, and he's like, you shit yourself, right? He's like, no, I didn't. He goes, we can show you the video, and he's like, well, okay. And he goes, but I do want to let you know you're very well endowed. And he's like, oh, okay.
No. No.
And
No.
he's like, so even though you shit yourself, which is like 2 steps back, being that well endowed, you took 4 steps forward. And he's like, oh, okay, so I'm still going ahead.
Wow.
And then if you haven't watched Fallout yet this season, it's been really good. Walton Goggins, once again, just proving that at some point he's going to win all the awards. So with that, Tino,
Let's do it.
You want to talk results?
Okay. Yeah.
Or do you want to talk, or what do you want to talk about first?
I would do results because results after I think one of the after NXT, I want to go not really a rant, but something I'm frustrated with.
There was something I wanted to rant about, and I forgot what it was, but it might be today's Raw that I want to rant about, so I can't do that. But
I haven't seen it. Y'all shut up.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying anything about it.
Not you. I'm talking to the people in the audience there.
Yeah, we're keeping with our weekly. So next week we talk about this week's Raw. So okay, January 12th, Monday Night Raw. The lineup for it was AJ Styles versus Gunther. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley celebrate winning the tag titles. Penta and Dragon Lee versus Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. And CM Punk speaks. So really, 2 matches were announced for last week. This is how we started. Your new tag team champions. We get we get Roxy and Liv Morgan coming in to interrupt, I guess, Team Rio. That was fine. We get the newest member of the Raw roster, Javon Evans versus Bravo Americano. What you think?
I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I knew they weren't going to let Javon lose his match, and I don't think I think they're about to end the Americanos because what I've heard is Chad Gable's coming back. He's going to take over the Americanos, and I think he's going to be a face this time.
It's going to be, well, I think he's going to come back as El Grande Americano, and it's going to be El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. Next up, we had CM Punk get interrupted by Finn Balor. CM Punk says, "I'll go put my gear on. Let's do this tonight in Germany." And Finn Balor sits there, and after getting the face pop saying that he wanted a match, he gets the heel turn pop.
I want to do it here. I want to do it in my home country.
I want to do it on my home turf. I want to do it with home field advantage. Let's do it in Ireland. And yeah, so we get a whole bunch of nothing. And so you know what? This is one of those things where it's like Finn Balor hasn't been relevant. They even talk about how
the only reason he went out there too, I think we forgot, they were in the clubhouse and he was playing video games. Remember when
what are you doing back here, Finn?
Yeah, what
What's it look like I'm doing? I'm playing 2K.
So she pretty much bitched him, punked him into going out there, and when you do something, so that's the reason why he went out there.
But it's been 10 years since he won the Universal Championship and relinquished it on the next night. And it's been 4 years since he's had a singles title.
Wow.
The relevancy of this match was nothing more than let's give the hometown crowd someone to cheer for. So I'm sure when we watch Monday Night Raw tonight or today or whenever, we're going to see and we're going to be able to go, oh, Finn's getting the babyface cheer.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that's why they set it up like that. They knew.
Well, you and I talked about this last year when remember, like the month before WrestleMania last year, it was an all out of the country setup so that they could get the biggest crowds they possibly could and the most amount of like excitement going headed towards WrestleMania. This year, they've decided to do that going into the Royal Rumble, and they're going to bring it back to the United States after that.
But what I'm saying is they're taking their stars who are from that area, knowing they're going to get a face pop. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
although, as much as you want them to get that, they used to do it where that would be the dark match at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That way, the crowd gets to go home happy by seeing the hometown person, but you don't affect storylines. Now, with Triple H in charge, they just don't seem to care about that as much. Kabuki Warriors versus Bayley, Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. This was for the #1 contendership of the women's titles. Perez and Morgan win the match to become the new #1 contenders. The crowd sang Bayley's theme song, and I loved how when she came down, she goes, "You all shut up for a second so they can sing to me."
Yes.
And it was great because, you know, like Bayley's somewhere in, I mean, sometimes she's a babyface, sometimes she's a heel, sometimes she's all over the place in one match. Tweener. Well, she's not even a tweener because she's either full heel or full babyface. She's not in between anything. It's the first time they've really done that with a character where, like, today, until she gets smacked in the face, she's a baby. Yes. She's a bipolar character.
Multiple personalities. It's kind of, you know, what reminds me of, and we talked about this, Festus. Remember when the bell would ring, he turned into a monster, and then when the bell ring again, he go back to.
Did you just say a monster, like Eddie Munster?
Yeah, I did. I caught myself. I was hoping you let that slide, bitch, but you didn't.
Sorry, Big Daddy Jones 99. But I thought that was great listening to the crowd actually like cheer for who they wanted to cheer. Like Bayley doesn't have German roots. She's from the Bay Area. That's why they call her Bayley, right?
I think they like just singing that "Hey, hey, Bayley."
Well, if you noticed, they started singing "Hey, hey, Lyra" as well.
Yeah.
So they would do "Hey, hey, Bayley, I want to know," and then it was "Hey, hey, Lyra, I want to know." And I don't even think Lyra realized it. I think Michael Turner just said that Bayley's super funny, and yeah,
yes,
in and out of there, 100% on that. Bronson Reed and Austin Theory versus Dragon Lee and Penta. What did we really expect from this? I mean, Dragon Lee and Penta ended up winning the match via disqualification. I'll say this. It was nice to see Raw end with at least half of a different pairing, so it wasn't just CM Punk and Jey Uso going out there and getting their asses like tsunamied. But did Penta and Dragon Lee really have any reason to be in this match?
I don't know, but I think
they did come out and help CM Punk the week before.
I think they deserve hazard pay, because did you see how hard Braun Breaker hit him when he ran down that ramp? I was like, holy
dude, it was IShow speed. It was IShow speed, like the and he dove at him and took him out.
I'm like, how do you? I understand, you fall, you take that flat back, but still, how do you? It still gotta hurt.
There's no way that doesn't. And you're 100% right. And then we get the aftermath of that, which is Adam Pearce coming down and being like,
"Scrap daddy." I mean,
you're supposed to be
fucking spitting and foaming at the mouth. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, what the internet has been saying about it is that some people act their gimmick and some people live their gimmick. And Adam Pearce in that moment was living his gimmick. Like, it was as real as it got. And then they go backstage and Adam Pearce is yelling at Braun Breaker even more. And then Braun Breaker
touched me again. Da, 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 da.
And then Paul Heyman sits there and says, you really ought to watch out. And he goes, your man better watch out. And he goes, no, not my man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you, because you put your hands on him first. Which means I do think we're going to get, and this is one of the banners that I put up for tonight. I think we are going to get Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce returning to the ring one night only. It probably.
That Pierce, though, I don't know if Heyman was setting that up as a match or in a legal way.
Well, he's definitely trying to set it up for a legal thing, but you know what's going to happen is they're going to do the whole thing where Braun Breaker sits there and says, I don't want you to have no job. I don't want you out of that. I want a match.
Okay.
And that's what I expect to happen. Although maybe Adam Pearce's contract's coming up. Maybe he's tired of the travel. Maybe it's time to move on to a new.
Maybe Chris Jericho's coming back to be the GM.
You just made the list. But then we get the main event of the night, AJ Styles versus Gunther. Let me ask you something. We saw Goldberg probably put on his best match against Gunther, right? At least in the last 10 years. We then saw John Cena tap out to Gunther, the greatest of all time. And with the booking of AJ Styles over the last 2+ years since Triple H has been in charge, would you have thought AJ Styles had any chance of winning this match at all?
Especially if they're trying to make Gunther strong and let him. I think they're trying to I hate to say, I don't say legend killer, but I think they want him to retire people who are ready to retire, like he did Goldberg, Cena. He's probably going to be the one to take AJ out. You know what I mean? I'm sure when Brock's ready to go, he'll probably go out and they'll use Gunther.
Well, and there's rumor that Brock wants to be done by SummerSlam of this year. So who knows? You might be 100% right. Chris Jericho, if he comes into the WWE, might be retired by Gunther. And that is a big distinction, being that guy that probably gets those rungs on the, those notches on the belt, if you will. AJ Styles gets Gunther to tap out, but he does it where the referee can't see it. And this is 2 weeks in a row that WWE referees have missed.
They've gone to the Jessica Carr school of refereeing.
So not the AEW school of refereeing where it's, I saw you do it, but
according to Becky Lynch, I'm saying.
Well, and this is, 2 weeks in a row with a schmoz ending like that. Because the Becky Lynch versus Maxine match, and now this one. And Gunther didn't just, so he taps out. AJ lets the hold go. The referee goes, I didn't see it. They don't go to the videotape. The referee sits there and goes, the match is still going, to the timekeeper for some dumbass reason.
And he kicked him in the ding ding.
And he ding-dings him.
Kicked him in the ding ding.
He kicked him in the no-no square. And and then he power bombs him in 1, 2, 3. I didn't like it.
I think there might be, and like I said, I haven't seen the days, and you said not to read anything, but I'm assuming that they're going to use that to further this storyline along and come in the match. I expect them to probably. I don't know when AJ is looking to retire and when he wants to quit, so I don't know if they do this at the Royal Rumble. So maybe have a retirement thing at Royal Rumble. So like I said, I hadn't watched tonight, so don't spoil it. But
told you I wouldn't say anything. So, yeah. But I didn't like the end of this match because Gunther isn't a chicken shit heel. And they had him end this match as a chicken shit heel.
I don't think he was a chicken shit heel. I don't think it was chicken shit heel. I think it was more of everything I do. What the fuck am I supposed to do? How am I getting him off me? Fuck me cheat and get out, right? I don't think it was chicken shit. I think he was like, this dude might beat my ass. Let me do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, now as wrestling fans who've been watching for a long time, AJ wasn't in any position where he was going to win this match.
Well, no.
And obviously because you're trying to build Gunther up. So now that you've it was like backing them into a corner. They could have had AJ Styles go over to SmackDown for a while and then come back later on in the year to go against Gunther in a similar fashion. But instead,
yeah,
it's like they're rushing it. So I don't know. I wasn't too happy with it. NXT. This is the week after Obafemi dropped the title in the middle of the ring after beating a TNA wrestler. So here was your lineup. The NXT title gets addressed. Izzy Dame celebrates winning the North American title. Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan. Jasper Troy versus Tavion Heights in a speed championship match. And Joe Hendry versus Dion Lennox.
Michael Turner, we're getting ready to answer that question here in a minute because that's part of my rant after this NXT.
Yep, we're going to go into this. Oh, let me put up the banner for NXT.
That's right. So, yeah. Okay.
There we go. So we start as a brand without a champion is what Bleacher Report called it. We basically get told that there's going to be an NXT championship ladder match on February 3rd, 4 days after the Royal Rumble. And it's going to be, I guess, a 6-man ladder match.
I thought they were doing... Is it 6-man? I thought they were doing like qualifying matches.
So Ava said there would be qualifying matches next week to determine who would fight for the championship in a 6-man ladder match.
Because they're doing that qualifying match thing on SmackDown. That's why I'm getting them confused.
Yeah. So for the number one contender spot for the unified or not unified, but undisputed championship on SmackDown, that's a 4-way.
Yes.
At Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
This one is a 6-man. So the only thing that I like about this setup is that it's really going to get us knowledgeable of who NXT still has on the men's division, because you're going to have 12 guys.
There's not many unless they bring.
I mean, they're going to have to bring some LFG people up or Evolve people up, or
they brought 3 up from Evolve. The Vanity Project, so that's 3.
Yeah, but that's one project, right?
And then one dude is still the Evolve champ. He's got to drop that championship at some point.
Probably Wednesday.
Yeah.
First matchup, Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice. Lola Vice beats Kalani Jordan. So it was nice to see Kalani get a little bit of a push and now be pushed right back down.
Because it's time to push Lola, though.
Tony D'Angelo was shown walking behind Ava during a moment backstage.
He's going to end up in that ladder match for the championship.
He's definitely going to end up in that. Booker T actually did a good job of breaking down the history between Lola Vice and Kalani. Next up, Jasper Troy versus Tavion Heights in the speed match.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, I know that Jasper just got that, but it seemed like they were trying to push Trayvon.
Heights.
Heights.
Tavion.
Yeah, Tavion. They're trying to push him. The only reason I thought, well, and they've already pushed up Obafemi. It's too soon to push up the new big guy, the NXT, the speed champion,
Tavion.
Yeah, so no.
Jasper Troy.
It's too soon to push him up to the main. So I don't know what they're doing there.
After the break, Blake Monroe was out to talk about what happened recently with the North American Championship. Jada Parker came out. Miss Parker.
She came back as a face. Remember, she was heel, and they were like cheering her and doing the Miss Parker, and she was playing to the crowd. Normally, before she left, she wasn't. They were still doing Miss Parker, and she was still, but now she was playing into it. So I guess she's coming back as a face.
Elio LaFleur got another video package. Ethan Page has good chemistry with Ava. We've seen that, obviously. Channing Lorenzo versus Shiloh Hill. Shiloh's the one that's missing the tooth, right? Okay. Lorenzo defeats Shiloh.
Yes. But Shiloh put up a good fight, though. I mean, it wasn't a squash. It was a good back and forth. I thought it was a good match. I wasn't expecting him to win, but I like that they gave him a chance to show what he could do.
Now, Lorenzo was obviously part of Tony D'Angelo's old group, right?
Yes.
So I think what you're seeing here is you're seeing the elevation of different classes of NXT, right? So the new guy comes in, but the guy that's been there for a while gets the victory in this.
That was Stax. He was the underboss.
Yeah. Who is the TNT Internet Champion or International Champion?
International Champion, yeah.
The new champion speaks. Izzy Dane comes out. The crowd did not really love her during the segment. I felt bad for her because she has been working pretty hard to get to where she is.
I just don't think she's quite there yet. I don't think she's got that crowd behind her yet.
And of course, security holds back Tatum Paxley. All 5 foot nothing of her.
Who the crowd was going crazy for. It's weird that she's made that connection with the fans.
Yeah.
So I expect her to have that title back soon.
And then we get Joe Hendry versus Dion Lennox.
And he brought out OTM with him.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be a no disqualification. And Ava's like, if it's I can't do that because it's still going to be, you got 6, whatever, how many other on one. So you need to find somebody. He went and found OTM.
And Joe Hendry gets the win.
Yep.
And like you said, Vanity Project has been moved up to NXT. So yeah, there we are with that. Call-ups.
So Michael, I'm glad you mentioned this because I was I think it might have been off the air. We were talking about this. We were talking about this before, Rob. How I'm like, they're calling up. I understand that these people are ready to be called up because you have to make room, but they haven't built anybody in NXT enough before they do the call-ups. And then my aggravation and frustrations with the call-up is you call these people up, but you don't have anything for them, so they kind of flounder. Like we finally gave Carmelo a championship, right? I'm waiting to see what they do with Jordan Grace. We'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown. They might be putting her against Jay, which Jay needs it because there's really nobody else.
And Tiffany's been gone.
Yeah, I mean Bianca's gone. There's nobody that can.
Charlotte and Alexa are in the tag team division.
So that makes sense. I'm waiting to see what they do with her. But I mean, who else have we called up?
Well,
We called up
so
Oba. He ain't even showed up yet.
well, I have a feeling he's going to be Royal Rumble.
Okay.
But I mean, you've had Trick Williams, who now is already in a number one contenders match for the NXT for the. See, now I'm doing it. The unified undisputed championship. God damn it! How many different titles has this title had?
He's not gonna win.
Well, he shouldn't win, and the reason why is because then you have heel versus heel. But I think they've already set up where he's going with this. I think Randy Orton wins this. We're not even talking about SmackDown yet. But I think Randy Orton wins that match because Trick beat down Sami Zayn at the end of SmackDown this week, which we'll get into.
Yeah, well,
but Javon Evans is going to be the tough one because he's such a great, fun guy to watch. But so's Penta, and so's Dragon Lee. And so's Rey Fenix, and so's Carmelo, and like we did say last week, with all these people being called up, not only is it about what do you have for them, but it's also how do you make room for them, because you only have so many. I mean, Raw is only like 4 to 5 matches a week in 2.5 hours.
Yes,
and that's ridiculous. I'm not saying you want to have the frantic pace of an AEW show. You don't want to have 9 matches on a Dynamite card, but you also don't want to have 4 matches and only 12 people the entire night actually like on TV. I know that you want to do it with like back in the day when the WWE had such a small roster because WCW was buying up everybody's contract. You had to have Steve Austin on there 4 times.
Yes.
But you also did it because every time Steve Austin was there, you got that quarter-hour bump.
Yep.
Nowadays, they don't care about quarter-hour bumps. So what they care about is how do you get through a show? They got to stop worrying about how you get through the show and start putting a couple more matches on the card so that way they can fill in the card and then do it because NXT will do like 5 or 6 matches in a night in a 2-hour card. And yet you'll see the entire roster come through. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know where Triple H lost that sense of wanting to do that. I almost wonder if it's Bruce Pritchard in his ear, because Pritchard recently came out and talked about shit. I'm losing my voice. Pritchard came out recently and talked about how the WWE likes doing five match PLE cards because then you don't forget about anything that happened, which I kind of understand.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you take a roster of 300 people and get them all on TV? And that's my problem with it, because what's going to happen is some of these people are going to take jobs away from people that have been there forever that may still be t-shirt sellers if you put t-shirts out for them. Like Johnny Gargano is going to find himself without a job.
Yeah.
And Johnny's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Unless they start doing like they did before, and I don't know if it's demotion, but remember they were sometimes they were sending people back to NXT.
Well, they absolutely need to do that. Like we said last week, Tommaso Ciampa, the best thing for him, because he lives in Florida, probably wants to be close to home, would be putting him on NXT. Then you only travel once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And your bump card stays safer. So, I don't know. Let's pull up AEW Dynamite and Collision because we got some news that happened this week from this stuff.
I didn't watch Collision, so that you probably, and
I only have Dynamite pulled up, but there's something specific. What just happened?
You went black.
You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Just can't see you.
All right, hold on.
Your camera. Oh,
let me check my camera. You can still hear me though?
I still hear you. Yeah, just got a big black square where your face should be. Yep, there you are.
I know. Hold on. There we go.
What happened?
I don't know. My whole thing just turned off. Weird. Like earlier, you were freezing, and now all of a sudden I'm.
Oh, yeah, I knew because I was in the wrong Wi-Fi. I have 2.
Gotcha. But let's talk about so this AEW Dynamite was called Maximum Carnage.
Yep.
Because Tony Khan loves his special edition names. Was there anything special about this week's episode of Dynamite? But we did start with Darby Allin versus Pac. Pac being the only member of the Death Riders that Darby Allin has not beaten.
Another thing, we were just talking about bump cards.
I know what you're talking about.
You cannot take a back suplex on stairs like that, or get fucking Razor Edge out of the ring onto the ring. He's gonna kill himself, dude.
He wants to.
He's not gonna be long. He's not gonna be long in this profession, dude. He's gonna be retired by the time he's 30.
I want to point out that these two moves just happened after he spent 6 days in the hospital. So I agree with you. But somehow, after all of that bullshit, Darby Allin gets the win. Is that believable?
Well, they want us to suspend our belief, but that's a little much asking me to suspend that much. Because once he got back dropped on the fucking stairs, I was done. I'm like, ain't no way you getting up, bro. Because he hit it hard. There's no way you're getting up.
And all you heard was Bryan Danielson go, "No!"
His back was broke.
Yeah, and Bryan Danielson obviously had how many next surgeries?
Yes.
Hangman Adam Page versus the bounty hunter Brian Keith. Now, the bounty hunter's backstage, and who was it that's like, this guy wants a match with you, and he's like, Hangman, the last time we had a match, you beat my ass. So this time,
I'm a different person.
I'm a different person, and you're gonna beat my ass. Because that's what happened. It's not what he said, but that's what happened.
Hangman was going to win that match. There's another one. I can't suspend my disbelief. I mean,
and I guess Kenny Omega is trying to be friends with Hangman and Swerve now, and Hangman and Swerve are trying to be friends with Jet Speed for some reason. It's like, hey, Jet Speed, we need someone who can eat the pins.
Well, no, I can't say that because.
Yep. You're right. Because well, first we got to go through Brody King versus Jonathan Cruz. Who the fuck is Jonathan Cruz?
I don't know.
All I know is Brody King in a D+ match defeated this guy. Why did they break up Brodito?
You're just as good as mine.
4-way tornado #1 contender tag match. This was Speedball and Kevin Knight versus the Young Bucks versus Jake Doyle and Mark Davis. I think there was one other tag team in this. Gates of Agony.
Yeah.
And this match ends with Davis and Doyle. So Jake something 2 weeks in has already outdone what Josh Alexander did in his first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Great match. It's kind of what we expected. Who ate the pin? Who ate the pin there?
Probably one of Jet Speed.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too, but I can't find it. Yeah, I can't figure out who they beat, who they actually. Oh, wait. Doyle and Davis isolated Kevin Knight.
Yep.
And you know what that did for Jet Speed? Hey, let's put you in a trios title match on Saturday. Because you did so good losing this match. Doesn't make any sense.
Michael Turner is absolutely right. That last one he put up.
I mean, she's definitely one of the bright spots. There aren't many, but she is definitely one of them. Cosmic Babes of Wrath versus Triangle of Madness. Because when you take the Babes of Wrath and you add the AEW Women's Champion, Chris Statlander, it's now the Cosmic Babes of Wrath. Because you have to have a new name for every time you do stuff like this. You know the sad part about having those new names? They don't make merch.
The Babes of Wrath had merch.
Thunder Tits. I still want my Thunder Tits shirt.
They weren't together long enough.
Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue defeat Statlander, Willow, and Harley Cameron.
Who was Thunder Tits? That was
Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm.
That's right.
Yeah. And they weren't together long enough because Thunder Rosa came back from injury and then she got injured in May of last year again. AEW Men's World Championship match, MJF versus the Ring of Honor World Champion, Bandito.
You knew Bandito wasn't winning that shit. It was a good match, though.
It was. It was. And you know what? It was the right match to be in the main event. It was an excellent match. And the thing I don't like, well, I guess I do like this, is that they kept putting Bandito over on commentary. But the problem I have with that is that they always do that. Oh, Jet Speed are some of the best guys in the world. And 1, 2, 3. You know? Like, they're some of the best high flyers in the entire universe. And yet, 1, 2, 3. Every week. Except for the show we don't watch, Collision.
Yeah.
When Adam Hangman Page and Jet Speed went up against the Ops for the Trios World titles. And Tino, what happened?
I didn't watch it, but they won. So in the Hangman and Jet Speed, I guess they're going to be Hang Jet Speed. I don't know what the fuck they're going to call themselves. But
Jet hangers.
Jet hangers.
Fast jet hangers.
Jet Speed hangers.
Jet Speed Cowboys.
Wow. Wow.
He's a Jet Speed Cowboy.
Dumbass.
Jet Speed Cowboy.
You got me on that one. You got me.
Oh, that was good. So on Collision, which was actually taped immediately after Dynamite on Wednesday night, they had this match, and because one of the members of the Ops, who was part of this Trios World title holder, is leaving the company. His contract ran out at midnight on Thursday morning. They let Kevin Knight roll up Will Hobbs for the victory here. I don't even know if Kevin Knight could literally move Will Hobbs with Will Hobbs helping him.
Ain't no way he rolled up Will Hobbs.
They rolled him up. A schoolgirl, Tino.
Ain't no way. Hobbs helped him.
And at the end of the match, Swerve Strickland came out and went, because he said big things are coming for Kevin Knight after he ate that pin on Wednesday.
Stupid.
Speaking of, so Will Hobbs apparently said to Tony Khan, thanks but no thanks. I want to test the market. And his contract ran out midnight, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And rumor is that he's already signed to WWE and he is imminently going to show up on WWE programming, which means I have a feeling he might be a mystery man in the 6-man ladder match. Like, now granted, he would still have to go through the qualifying match to get there. Or they have something happen where they both get double disqualified or something, and then Ava goes, that's okay, I've got someone who can be in this match. And then you have Thunder Dan or whatever his name is going to be. Big Daddy Jones, 99.
Big Dick Johnson.
Big Dick. They already had a Big Dick Johnson, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Big
comes
Dick
back.
Dudley. He'll be the new Dudley boy. But Will Hobbs apparently is going to WWE. Will most likely be repackaged with a new name. Now, my question to you, Tino, is why do you think that even though Tony Khan apparently made a substantial offer to him, he turned it down?
Because they hadn't gotten the push. I mean, he's relegated to damn trios and being the muscle and the to somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, sure, but I mean, like people like Jet Speed took the money.
Yeah,
The
but
Rascals took the money.
I think Will Hobbs probably wants more. I think he sees that no matter what we say, WWE is the big time.
Well, I want to point something out, and you might remember this because you've been watching AEW since it began, just like I have. When Will Hobbs first came out, who was he partnered with in AEW?
Wasn't it Taz? Wasn't he part of the?
He was part of that, but who else? Come on.
Fuck, I don't know.
Hook, obviously Taz's kid.
Yeah, it was part of the
And
Ricky Saints.
boom. So if I had to guess, when it came time for Will Hobbs to actually sit there and ask certain people what he should do with his career, he went to Samoa Joe. He went to Ricky Saints, probably even reached out to Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes, if he had the conversation with them, probably said to him, "We don't give pushes, we give opportunities. But look at everybody that's come over here from AEW and look at what they've done. Every single one of them has been a champion now. Every single fucking Lexus King has been a champion in WWE since coming over. Will Hobbs probably even asked Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe probably said, you come here for the money. Sure, you come here to have great matches wrestling when you actually get them, but you come here for the money. You come here when your career is almost over and it's time to sit there and go, okay, I'm never going to main event WrestleMania. I can finally put that to rest. Let me go ahead and try to become the number 2 promotions world champion and take the money.
It's WCW.
Yeah, 100%. Except the difference with WCW back in the day was it was the NWA world champion, which held some weight. So that's that. And trust me, and I say this wholeheartedly, that if AEW continues to run for 5-6 more years, its championship will be worth something. It will be a viable commodity. Like hell, the TNA World Championship is. The company's been around 20 years. It's pretty wild to think that.
I know, right?
Like 2006, I think, is when that company started.
Was it? I thought it was before then, but
it might have been. I just remember 2006. They had the $10 pay-per-views every week.
That's what I was gonna say. So it was 2006 they were doing that.
I think
so. It's
2004
because I got married in 2004, and I remember living in my apartment watching $10 pay-per-views.
You're 100% right, because I definitely wasn't married at the time that I was watching those pay-per-views. So you're 100% right. Speaking of other people that signed, though, you talked about Zeta Steele, who was with Evolve, right?
Yep, she's with Evolve. She was part of the Vanity Project. She was the female part of that Vanity Project. And like I said, I was watching. I'm like, I know that name. And I'm like, she was just on damn Evolved a couple weeks ago. So,
and she kept her name.
Yeah, they let her keep Zeta Steele.
She must have had it before she got to WWE.
I'm assuming.
Well, a lot of the Evolve people are the WWE ID people.
Yeah, so I think they were like, what do you call it? The Indies. You should probably keep her indie name.
Well, and there's rumor that a bunch of the people that are getting ready to come into NXT are going to be like the people that are currently under ID contracts. So I would expect that. I'd expect some of these NIL deal people to get moved up. Next in line, as WWE likes to call the NIL shit. So, but we have the Rascals and Zeta Steele signed with AEW. Now, this is what I said to you and VZ this week in our group chat.
Michael said May 2022. Sorry.
Was that?
May 2002, TNA started.
Oh, wow. Even more earlier than I thought. While AEW recently said that they don't have as much intention to sign WWE talent to contracts anymore because they might not fit the AEW mentality and what's needed, they definitely don't seem to have that problem signing TNA talent, do they?
Nope.
Do you have a feeling we're going to see the Inspiration show up?
Yep.
I get that feeling too. Now, they could possibly actually go back to WWE. I could see that as a possibility too. But they, we're getting ready to talk about TNA Impact on Thursday. But the Rascals and Zeta Steel signed. Obviously, Zeta Steel was an Evolve contracted member. The Rascals, as far as I can tell, it's all 4 members of the Rascals.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they going to fit on AEW?
Don't know.
Well, if I had to guess, they're going to win the Trios Championships. And then they'll be relegated to Collision. So it's just my guess on it. But I have to say, I think those kids, I think some of them knew that there was no chance of certain ones going to the WWE. Because, they'd already fired the one twice.
Yeah.
So I think that they knew they had 2 moves. They had stay in TNA, where you're probably going to get a fraction of the money, but you're going to wrestle a lot more often, or go to AEW and start planning to book your own indie shows. It's really all I can think that they're going to do with that. So all right, let's now talk about Thursday Night Impact, Tino.
Okay.
I sent you something this week that showed that the internet did not think this was a very good first broadcast. And all I can say to you there is that I know that you liked the show.
I thought it was good.
And I even told you my disappointment with the show. And my disappointment isn't on the wrestling content that they had, or even who they decided that they were going to show on the broadcast, because a lot of people were upset that people like Leon Slater were held off for SmackDown in London.
And
I've now heard it was a visa issue. So he couldn't get back into the United States, so he stayed in his home country and then wrestled for SmackDown. But why do you keep your best division's champion off the program, right?
I think they did that on purpose. I want to say they did it on purpose.
Well, if anybody did it on purpose, it'd be the WWE that did it, right? Not
yeah.
TNA.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the show. And let me explain my frustration with it first. And the reason why I want to do that is because I don't want to take away from the wrestling that happened in the ring, because I felt that was solid. I didn't feel that a couple things. The first one is this: TNA getting this broadcast live television on a network that has 2 to 3 times as many viewers possible as their current deal means that they have to plan to show stuff to bring in a new audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did just another episode of TNA Impact. They did sit there and covet the history of TNA, but I didn't feel they did enough to separate themselves from NXT or AEW or any of the other programs. And obviously they weren't going to have the same visual intensity of like a Raw or SmackDown, right? They're not going to have that top-notch production value. So you're expecting an NXT style production value, and that's what they had. They had a packed arena, which was great, probably 5,000 to 6,000 people.
And this is what the part of that is what aggravated me about
What I was saying.
about the show. No, not what you were saying about the show. I
Okay.
agree with you. If WWE has a part of TNA, right? Because they're borrowing, why did the production value look so shitty?
Oh, because WWE's not paying for the production value.
But
Could they? Yes.
They're sharing talent. I mean, damn, what's her name was there because she's going to go for the damn TNA championship, right? So you would think, and we talked about a lot of people weren't able to see TNA. So if they're going to use their talent on WWE TV to help push TNA, they would try to help with that production. Does that make sense to you?
100%. But it was about the same level of production value that an NXT episode is, which is where WWE feels that TNA is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to make them look better than your broadcast that you're working with them on? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that, I totally understand that. Issue number 2 I had with the broadcast was I don't know who Mustafa Ali's group is.
Yeah.
Over 4, whatever, 4 over.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when I see that match at the beginning where it's a 6-man tag match and it's Elijah and the Hardys, I know who all of them are. Okay. I see Mustafa Ali. I know who he is because I'm a long-term pro wrestling fan. I had no idea who the other people were. And on top of that, the little bit of snippet that you gave me to show what led up to this match made me think that Elijah was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was hog-tying Mustafa Ali and dragging him out by horse.
Which is funny.
It is, but he doesn't look like the good guy from it. So, and here's my point to this. And sorry, we're at almost 90 minutes now, but we're almost done. The issue I had with this is that when I went to a small indie show, and I don't know who any of the people are, right. I almost feel like with AEW where they have the babyface and heel entrances, that you almost need that so that I know who to cheer, I know who to boo.
Agreed.
If you create that, then people start learning to recognize it. And then they cheer when you want them to. They boo when you want them to. I don't know anything about these people, so I don't know if I'm even going to boo them. For all I know, they're terrible in the ring. So I'm going to boo them, but I'm going to boo them because I never want to see them again.
Boo.
Boo, get out of here.
Boo.
You suck. No, for real, you suck. You know? They didn't do a good enough job of teaching me who their stars are.
I can see that. And I guess because I've watched TNA, so I kind of know who the people are, but I can see somebody who's never seen this product before trying to figure out what's what.
And you could even argue with me that the audience that has been watching NXT on the CW knows more about these people than people that were watching on Axis, right? Except, did they ever portray any storylines from TNA on NXT?
What do you mean?
Did they ever tell you what the storyline going on for TNA wrestlers were on NXT?
Only if it had to do with one of the championships.
Or if it had to do specifically with if the storyline was with the NXT wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know who they are. We don't know anything about them. You want to build an audience, and from week to week, obviously you take that as your ground zero. But I would have had maybe not even vignettes, but like, remember how SmackDown used to have like the little board that would go up on the right side when the people were coming down and would give you all their like highlights, like Matt version 1. You know, like it would, and it would say all that stuff, and you would kind of all of a sudden start knowing who this person was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but instead of giving me the highlights of what they've done in wrestling, tell me why I like them. Tell me why I dislike them.
What do you, but how? How would you say tell you why you dislike them or like them? What do
Well,
you
I mean, like, say something like just you know, like Mustafa Ali. He was a cop in Chicago. Okay, cool. I can get behind that. Right? Put stuff like that up. Let me learn who the person is. They didn't do that,
I
and
like
they did.
Michael said should have had more TNA legends show up at the first show back. Agreed.
Well, I agree. And I'll say right now, Dixie Carter.
They booed, boo,
She got booed
boo.
louder than Hulk Hogan in his last appearance on Raw.
Soon as he said her name, they started booing, and then she walked up, boo. It's like one of those. It wasn't as bad as Dom, but like she's trying to talk, boo, boo. Oh my god!
And you know what? That wasn't the right moment for that. The booing probably wasn't the right moment for Dixie Carter. You know, it might have even been better to have her in like a skybox area or in the backstage area, actually watching in like a dressing room with Santino and Daria Ray.
The only thing I liked about the AJ Styles thing, because he just came a rah, we are TNA, we are NXT, is they used a get ready to rock. I was excited about that. I'm not going to
And the crowd was singing it.
Huh?
And the crowd was singing it.
Yes. I'm
So,
not going to lie. I know he hates it, but that is my favorite AJ Styles entrance song.
I don't think he hates it as much as he claims he hates it. But yeah. So all right, here's how the card went. TNA original welcomes Impact to AMC. That was AJ Styles when he was like, "This is TNA on A C." It was nice seeing AJ Styles back. I almost wish he would have cut his hair for it.
Shut up.
They gave the opening segment a C+.
Wow.
Elijah and the Hardys versus Order 4. The Hardys and Elijah defeated them. Okay. The Jersey Devil is in TNA. Daria Ray, formerly Sonya Deville.
You skipped over the Righteous coming out to confront the Hardys.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm just looking at the results.
And they did the whole thing from WWE where they handcuffed Jeff and they put the padlock
From
through
the
his
ear.
so he couldn't get up and help his brother. I'm like, oh, that hurts me every time they do that. I'm like, oh.
You remember who the first one to do that was?
Wasn't it Randy?
Sami Zayn.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. Randy might have ripped the earring out.
Yeah.
Jersey Devil, Daria Ray. So Santino Marella comes down to the ring and he's like, "You summon a gun," and he just kept calling it AMC, which, by the way,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. But if any of their representatives were watching, they were probably pissed.
Well, I'm sure that as much as they plug AMC, I'm sure him doing that little bit.
So Daria Ray comes out saying all these nice things, and then she
to me.
And then she turns. Well, she had them big ass shoulder pads that stuck out like this. But then she turns on Santino. Now, I expected it the entire time. It didn't seem like a moment where she was going to continue to be a babyface. And then, of course, she says that she's already made a signing, and your OnlyFans top 1% star of the month, Elena Black, comes out.
She's Corey to me.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but on Instagram they were showing videos of her actually wrestling with Mandy Sachs this week. And apparently Mandy Sachs doesn't wear her own ring gear because she was wearing one that said Elena. I
wonder if she's coming to TNA.
Maybe. The Inspiration versus the Elegance brand, and I could not be more sickened and bothered by the entire Mr. Elegance bullshit. It was such a bad segment.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible.
That dude should never be given a microphone.
Michael Turner said Sonya had them Dragon Ball Z pads on.
She looked like a damn Power Ranger out there.
What?
She looked like Rita Repulsa. Very disappointed to see William K and Cassie Lee lose this match.
William K. Sorry, Tom. Okay. I'm sorry. Every time I see William K.
There was one time you were like, that's not right. And then you were just like,
yeah, I'm like, that's fucked up. But anyway. Oh, God.
Turns out that the Inspiration are no longer under contract after this match was over. So we're probably not seeing them in TNA anymore.
They're iconic again.
Oh, they might be. They might be.
Because they slipped up on TNA and said an iconic pose, I meant, and then they changed it. I caught that.
So the Elegance brand wins in a D-level match. Not a very good match at all. Then we get the Open Challenge TNA Knockouts title match at the pay-per-view. And you think it's going to be Sol Ruka, and she goes, this is why I'm going to let Zarya have it.
I kind of figured she was going to let Zarya do it.
And hey, you know, Li Ying Lee looks a lot better in TNA than she did when she was in WWE.
Kylie.
Yeah.
She still did the same entrance.
The Mortal Kombat entrance?
Yeah, she still did the same thing with the fan, and I'm like, okay, you just changed your name, lady.
A lot of them do that. Then you had your main event, Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana, and apparently they ran out of time because they were on the 2:00 hour when this match ended, and Nick Nemeth was supposed to. He did come out, right?
No, his brother came out.
Oh, Ryan Nemeth. Oh, Ryan Nemeth came out and like argued with the people that were all from like the AMC TV shows.
Yeah.
But Nick Nemeth was supposed to come out.
Did you send that to me? Where he was signing his contract. Nick Nemeth was signing his contract with the guys at TNA. I guess he re-signed and he had his brother there. So he walked out and his brother's like, where's my contract? You want me to sign it?
That's funny. But Mike Santana wins the title. And Joe Hendry was added to the Genesis card as Leon Slater was taken off of the Genesis card. But Santana hits the code red, becomes your new TNA world champion. And I'm okay with it. But again, I don't like at least in this match, the commentary team, including Bully Ray, were attempting to explain why you want to cheer for Mike Santana, why Frankie Kazarian as a 20-plus year veteran, most of that being with TNA, why these two guys are so important to TNA currently, right? Mm-hmm. I felt that this match was definitely telling the story better to get us more ready for what's coming from TNA.
Okay.
So any final thoughts on TNA?
Nah.
All right. Then let's try to get through SmackDown pretty quick.
That was me. I just sent you the TNA, the Nick Nemeth. It is hilarious. You got to watch it later.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
So here we go. SmackDown. Here was your lineup: Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov, Randy Orton versus The Miz, Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams. Carmelo holds the Open Challenge, and then it says Drew McIntyre celebrates his title win. Now I know that Jordan Grace also had a match on the card, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Here's the thing about the brackets. You know who's going to win. So why? You knew that Damian Priest was going to win because the YS6 were going to come out to Solo to get that lantern back.
So the only match, and I agree with you that with most of this stuff that it really was one way or the other, that you already knew who was going to be the victor. The one that I didn't was Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. The reason why I say this is because just 2 weeks ago we're sitting there talking about Matt Cardona and being like, he didn't get the Cody treatment on the way back in, so he's relegated to mid card already, or is he?
I knew when Randy won his match, I knew Trick was going to be in that.
Because he was talking about his lemon pepper steppers,
and they're setting it, yeah, but they're setting it up. They've already started setting up the storyline with Trick and with Randy, Trick and Randy.
Well, they are, but they're also setting up a story between Trick and Sammy.
I think Sammy's going to win that. He's going to win the thing in Montreal at Saturday Night's Main Event. Sammy's winning that.
So McIntyre comes out, blah, 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 celebrating, and then says, hey, like most Americans who can't read, you obviously didn't read your contract, Cody, because no rematch.
Now, he got cheered coming down. I like they had the bagpipes playing live, right? When Jacob Fatu's music hit, that crowd lost their mind. So you were thinking Drew was supposed to be the face in that, and then they did start booing when he proceeded to beat the fuck out of Drew. So,
well, they were just happy to see Jacob back.
Yeah.
Jacob showed up and went right after the champion.
So, I got a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because it might be later on the show. Fatu calls out Cody to fight. Who's the heel?
Well, if Jacob doesn't start getting his lines right on the first go, he's going to be in the heel because people are going to start booing him.
Seriously, though. Who's the heel?
Well, all right.
So we're going to turn Cody heel? Is that what we're getting ready to see? Because he's already started his heelish tendencies. So are we turning Cody heel?
I mean, I think the answer is yes. I don't think we're going to get the full-blown heel turn yet, if we get it. Cody spent the last 2 years he was in AEW as a heel without wanting to be a heel.
I'm just curious. I'm waiting to see Saturday Night's Main Event, how it goes down, who gets cheered, who gets booed, and who, because normally
Cody's going to get booed.
So he'll play the heel. So like when The Rock, remember going to WrestleMania, Rock and Hogan, right? And in the middle of that match, Rock started playing the heel and Hogan started playing the babyface, right? So do you think they'll get there? And if Cody's getting booed, he'll start doing the heel stuff and Jacob, you know what I mean?
I don't know if it's going to change the way the match is laid out. You know, where with Hogan Rock, you had Hogan basically go, I'm taking over, go with my lead. You know, because remember, famously, The Rock made Hogan travel down to where he was so they could actually practice the match. And The Rock kept going, oh, no, this is the way it's going to go because they're going to boo you. And Hogan's like, they're not going to boo me in Toronto. And all of a sudden, middle of the match, The Rock has to change everything, right? Even though he practiced for weeks with Hogan about how the match was supposed to go, Hogan was like, I know how this match is going to go. I'm going to go. And they're going to be all about me. And he was right. And, you know, forget about later in his career. That's what it was back then. They wanted to cheer Hogan. Here, I mean, you heard it on Friday. That crowd booed the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And I think it's because the reason why Jacob Fatu attacked Cody is because Jacob knows who attacked him.
Well, when he came back, though, he attacked Drew.
Who? Jacob?
Yeah, remember in that cage match, he came for Drew.
Initially. And then when Cody threw him off, he just attacked Cody. Like, beat the shit out of him. But remember, he was already kind of in a feud with Drew before he got hurt.
Okay, I can see that.
So right now, he's probably like, I know one of y'all did this to me. Which one was it? And we're going to get the footage. If they're going to turn Cody heel, they're going to show the footage of him beating up Jacob backstage.
Well, didn't they just do that with Jade and
Yeah, but that's one of those stories that they can always go back to, and it wasn't that recent that they did it with Jade and Naomi.
Remember they did it with Triple H and Shawn.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So did it for The Rock.
No,
that. You know, like, but yeah, it's just one of those stories that they can always go back to. And since it's going to be a three-way, ideally there, you do kind of get Cody as a tweener. Because Jacob would be the baby face and Drew would be the heel. Although Drew's been getting cheered while he's overseas. Randy Orton versus The Miz. Solid match. The Miz hits a skull crushing finale, turns Randy over. 1, 2. No! Randy immediately gets up and boom. 1, 2, 3 with a RKO.
Yeah, that's about what I figured.
Yeah, me too. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Julia and Kiana James.
Excuse me.
Isn't it funny that when Charlotte's involved in these matches, they get the win, but when Bliss does it by herself, she loses? Like the week prior.
She won one.
Yeah, she won one. I don't even remember against who.
Yeah.
Your former WWE champion, Cody, comes out. Oh, wait. Sikoa responded to Uncle Howdy's video at the beginning of the show. And they're talking about the urn, I guess. The lantern. The lantern. Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. Cardona loses a second match back. Not a really good start if you're trying to win that WWE championship.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, Cardona gave a brief interview before the match about how he had to leave WWE to find himself again.
Gonna leave again.
I mean, I know that Kevin Owens talks about how, you know, he's like for a guy that claims to be the, you know, all about the indies, like, yeah, it's really funny that he constantly talks about wanting to be back in WWE. Now he's back in WWE, and I don't know if he likes being back now on 2 weeks in, you know. Right. Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. Damian Priest wins the match, so Damian Priest getting a little bit of a push after the long Aleister Black feud. And obviously Solo Sikoa loses his match because the Wyatt Six interfere with everything. Carmelo Hayes versus Leon Slater. What do you think of the match?
Carmelo Hayes and Leon Slater was a fucking bomb-ass match. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. But Leon Slater can have a good match with a broomstick. It's one of those, you know, one of those cliche, he can have a good match with a broomstick. And Carmelo is no slouch, so you put those two together. Well, I knew it was going to be a great match.
Was it me that sent you the Ric Flair versus Bret Hart conversation where Ric Flair was like, 10 years ago, I was able to have a match with a broomstick. Now I need another person in the ring with me.
Oh, no. Matt should have won. Matt who? Oh, Cardona.
So Carmelo Hayes wins this match. Was nice seeing the TNA X Division Championship shown on WWE broadcast, especially when you're talking on the maybe not flagship show anymore now that it's not on Fox, but one of the two big shows.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green versus Jordan Grace. Poor Chelsea, man. Poor Chelsea. She beat the hell out of her quick.
She fucked her up.
Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. This
slobber knocker
was a kick in the face, if you will. Like this match just every second of it. The thing I'm most happy about with the match is I didn't have to watch the H-bomb.
You almost did.
I know.
I think this is one of those matches where they're like, hey, backstage before the match, hey, I'm apologizing to you now. About to beat the fuck out of you.
This was like a Sheamus versus Rusev match.
Yep.
Which, by the way, where the hell have those two guys been?
I don't know. Probably gonna get released.
No, Sheamus is at that age where he gets more time off. Although you would think that he'd be on the European tour right now. Actually, kind of figured both of them would be on the European tour because they'd both probably be getting cheered. Yep. So you get this banger of a match between Ilya and Sammy, and then Sammy gets beat down by Trick Williams immediately after the match. He didn't even get time to celebrate his win. And all I'm thinking to myself is, Sammy's not a small guy.
Next to Trick, he is.
He looks like my size in terms of height when it comes to being next to Trick Williams. And he is not, he's like 6'2", and I think Trick is like 6'7", 6'8".
No, he's the same height as Randy because they were talking about it. So they're both, what, 6'5", 6'6", something like that.
Oh, maybe. So maybe Sammy's listed as 6'2", and he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
But hell of a match. And that sets us up for this week's SmackDown from Montreal, where it is. Oh wait, no, it's the number one contenders match is at Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
Who you got in it?
Winning it all? I told you, Sammy.
Sammy's winning that match?
It's in Montreal.
Ooh.
He just got his ass beat on his last SmackDown unless he recovers.
So that, you know what? That would allow him not to be part of the Royal Rumble, so you don't have to worry about him winning. Or maybe he's even saying he's not going overseas to Saudi, so that keeps him out of it. Oh wait, no, he'd be wrestling. He wouldn't be. He'd be wrestling at the Royal Rumble, but he'd be wrestling against Drew.
Yeah.
And that would allow Randy and Trick to continue their feud. But I don't think they have a singles match if they do that until after Royal Rumble, because I bet Trick throws Randy out of the Rumble.
I almost want to say, and this is a hot take for me. We all know that Drew's a transitional. As hot as Sammy has been in Saudi, I think he beats him. I think he comes out of there with the championship.
Well, now you're just talking about what I actually sent in our group chat, because I said I know why Sammy should win the Rumble, because it's in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I didn't see that. I'm just saying he wins that title because they're in Saudi Arabia.
That would be interesting. I'd really feel bad for Drew if his last reign was 5 minutes and then this reign was less than a month.
I mean, he can always get it back. But I think just for them to send the people home happy in Saudi, like, because they do Royal Rumble, they do another pay-per-view. What's the next pay-per-view?
Elimination Chamber.
He could win it back in Elimination Chamber.
Hell, he could win it back on SmackDown the following week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Sammy's going to have a long reign with it. I just say for that pop shot value, which they seem to be trying to get, and then to make the people in Saudi happy. I think.
What if they did one of those things where Sammy runs off with the title, to and it's like he wins, but then it gets reversed for some reason, just to see how the crowd reacts to it.
Yeah.
And then they reverse it, and it's, oh no, Drew, the match continues, and then Drew ends up winning the match anyway. But they did that with the Jericho versus Triple H back in the day, where Jericho ended up going over, and then they were like, no, his foot was on the ropes, and then they went back and reversed the decision. But that crowd exploded when they thought that it was.
They did it with Jeff Hardy too.
They did. They did it with Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns at one point. Because I remember sending you the picture of Dean Ambrose with the title running up the thing, and you were like, "No way!" And I was, and then later on that night when you finally watched it, you were like, "You dick!"
Oh, Michael said that he thinks Randy is going to win Saturday night's main event, and he says Sammy is not a main title guy, never will be.
Michael, That upsets us.
Yeah.
You take that back, Michael.
That's one thing I will have to disagree with. I think Sammy should have, before he's done, should have a title run.
I do think Sammy should have a title run, especially if we're never going to see Kevin Owens in the ring again. Because I mean, those two deserve every accolade that they ever get. I did hear that Kevin Owens is going to be the new coach on LFG, so that worries me that he's not going to be wrestling.
Yeah.
Although
Sammy's not that good. He's 10 toes down, chest out.
What now?
He says no. Sammy is not that good. He's standing firm on that one.
I just don't. If you had Sammy win the title, and let's say you have him go into WrestleMania with it, who does he go against at WrestleMania?
It's too soon for Trick.
I mean, you could do Sammy Roman because there's so much history between the two of them.
I don't want to see Roman get that bell again, though.
No, me neither. Me neither. But wouldn't it be cool if Sammy actually beat him?
They're already talking about Roman Cody 3 or 4, whatever.
Well, I don't think they are talking about that anymore. I think now that Cody's dropped the belt, that's not the plan. So, anyways, Tino, I don't really have anything else. Next week, obviously, we're going to have to do Rumble predictions without knowing anybody who's in the Rumble. I told you last week, I was like, nobody's been announced for the Rumble. I bet Cody's the first one announced. Cody's the first one announced.
So fucking yes. Anyway,
why don't you tell everybody your new Twitter handle, Big Daddy Jones 99?
I just did that for shits and giggles. It's still on everything. It on the Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky, Tino G. You can find me on the TikTok, Tino R. Gray Music. You can find us on Twitter, Potsy and Tino, Facebook with the Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every week on the Pots and Pans Network.
Buy our shit.
Please, Pots and Pans. And please make sure that you like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, buy our shit. Thanks to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song that they let us use. And you can still get on iTunes for low price of 99 cents. 99. Michael Turner's still, I hate Sami Zayn. He is still talking shit. All right, go Rob.
He's dying on that hill, apparently.
He is.
Go Sami Zayn. You can follow me on all the socials at either at Potchak, at Rob Potchak, or at Rob Potsy Potchak. Folks, this has been a blast. Sorry we went almost 2 hours, but now with TNA being a 2-hour live broadcast that we can actually watch, felt it was necessary to sit there and give a little bit more. But we will try to get back down to an hour and a half next week because we'll just go over the highlights. So with that, I guess we're out of here. Good night, everybody.
Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.